All right, guys, we are back. This time we are going to be making our flashcard for our space notes. And the first thing we need to do is make a staff, okay? And as you remember, a staff is made up of 5 lines. And we count those lines starting from the bottom. So I'm going to start making my line from the top. This is my 5th line here, okay? This is my 4th line. This is my 3rd line. This is my 2nd line here. This is my 1st line, all right? Oops, sorry. So this is my 1st line. Boom, okay? Good deal. Now, again, if you don't have staff or line paper, you can go ahead and just simply make yours. That's my 5th line. This is my 4th line. 3rd line. 2nd line. Yep, you guessed it. 1st line. So I got a staff there. All right. So now the next thing you want to do, you want to go ahead and make your treble clef. Remember, the way to make your treble clef, you're going to start from the top, make a 6. It curves around that 2nd line. All right. Come to the top of the 6. Nice D. All right. And then from that D, we're going to come down the middle of that 6 and we're going to make a J. All right. Boom. So treble clef doesn't look like perfect, but you get it. So you're going to do that for 3 other cards. And then boom, you should end up with 4 treble clefs. All right. So let's start. Now, we know that the 2nd line is always going to be G. That's why we call it treble / G clef. So we're doing spaces. So I want to figure out what this space is below the G. So I'm going to go backwards in the alphabet to figure out what that is. So if this is G, if I go backwards, I know that this space has to be, yep, you guessed it. It's going to be F. All right. So I'm going to put F on the back so I can study those flashcards. All right. So let's grab another flashcard. So now I want to figure out what this space is below the staff, below the 1st line. So if this is G, we just said that this space is F. And if this space is F, that means this line has to be what letter? E, yes. And right here in this space below the 1st line, which is E, this right here will be what letter? Yes, D as in dog. You guessed it. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Yeah, there we go. That was better. So it's right there on that line, all right? So boom, this note is going to be D as in dog. All right, that note right below the 1st line, always D. All right, so, and we're even going to say, let's say low D, because we already know another D. We're going to call this low D. Sorry about that. So we're going to call that low D. Now, we're going to go up, all right? So I want to figure out what this space is. So if I know that this is G, and now I'm going up in the staff, G, once we get to G, remember we start off with what letter in the alphabet? A in the music alphabet. So yes, this would be my A. Just go ahead and do that in between those 2 lines. Boom, I have A. I'm going to flip over to the back. I will put A so I know that this is A. All right, last card. So now I want to figure out what this 3rd space C and this 3rd space is, all right? So if this is G, and then we just said that this was A, if I keep on going up, this line will have to be B as in boy. Then boom, you guessed it. This would be C, and I kind of gave it away earlier. So yes, this would be C. And then on the back of this card, I'm going to go ahead and put C. Good job. So you should have 4 cards. You should have this, which is your low D, which is in the space below the 1st line. Then you should have this, which is your F. That is on the 1st space, okay? Then you should have this letter, which is your A, which is always on the 2nd space. Then you should have C, which is always on the 3rd space, okay? So go ahead and study those and get ready for your note identification challenge. You guys rock.